Hangtown Motocross got its name from the Old West. Back in the day, the judges in this part of the country were famous for handing out a brutal form of justice to the criminals that crossed their paths. Today, judgment will be handed out on a 1.2-mile racetrack on the hills of Northern California. 40 men will make their case in front of a large and passionate crowd. Each rider will act in their own defense as they strive for a verdict of victory at the opening round of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship.
Dirt bike racing fans like to call this the Great Outdoors. It's the kickoff to the 2015 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. It's the GoPro Hangtown Classic. Hello everyone, Jason Wygant here just outside of Sacramento, California. They've been racing motocross at Hangtown for over 45 years. They like to say that motocross starts here. So it's the most fitting place to start this 2015 title combat, and it's going to be a great one. If you're not familiar with motocross, there is no other sport that places this type of demand on both men and machines. You won't find another motorsport that asks so much mentally and physically from its competitors, but you won't find another athletic competition that requires so much from the teams and brands that build the equipment. It's all going to lead to high drama on and off the track. We'll be covering it all year long right here on NBCSN. So let's get in depth with my broadcast partner, Grant Langston, a multi-time world and national motocross champion in his own right, who's in the pits.
Thank you, Jason. Well, I'm down here in the Red Bull KTM pit, and right behind me, the number 32 bike of Justin Hill. This is a 250F machine. Easy way to identify it. Black background, white number. We have a look over here. This is Ryan Dungey's bike, a 450cc machine, and they have the white background with a black number. 200 cc's difference in horsepower, but when you look at lap times, there's not a lot in it between the 250 and the 450 riders. So for these guys and everyone else on the field, winning the championship this year will be a career-defining moment, and it all starts right now.
And Grant, it is right here that we'll find out who will pass that finish line first here at Hangtown. Now, it's been a few years, but this year we have two #1 red plates in the series. We have the #1 red background of Jeremy Martin in the 250 class, and in the 450 class we have Ken Roxon. But there are multiple people that can win races, and obviously that all leads up to the championship. But it is here at Hangtown where everything begins.
Let's show you how motocross works. It's a two-moto format in each class. We already ran our first motos earlier today. We'll show you the highlights of those in just a moment. You'll combine the results from the first and second moto to determine an overall winner for the day. And each one of those motos pays points in the championship, which is 12 total race weekends. We mentioned we have first motos complete. Let's show you the highlights from the first moto of the 250 class from a little over an hour ago. Some adjustments to the Yamaha defending champion Jeremy Martin right before the first moto. He was fine once the moto started. Also fine, Adam Cincerillo, number 50, hasn't raced in over a year, takes the lead from Justin Bogle. Unfortunately, about the halfway mark, he crashed, went off the side of the track, dropped back to 9th. So this leaves Cooper Webb of the number 17, the blue bike, in the lead. But watch for the orange number 25, Marvin Muscan. He pounced.
Yeah, he just had the pace going, gets up the inside. Once Marvin took the lead, he was gone. But then the battle between the teammates. Right here, look at this. Jeremy Martin just goes a long way around his teammate Cooper Webb, who does not have goggles at this point. Look at him ducking the roost. So that played a factor in. But the number 25, Marvin Muscan, left off where he did in Supercross. Just looks cool, calm, collected, smooth. He takes the first vote of the season.
Martin would finish second, Webb third. And those are three of the favorites coming in. Last year's champ Martin, sandwiched by the two riders, Muscan and Webb, who just won the regional Supercross championships in the indoor stadium series that just wrapped up. Savaji, a great ride for fourth, and Chris Aldridge has two Kawasaki's in top 5. That team looking for a renaissance here in the summer outdoor motocross. So far, so good for them. So that sets the scene. The riders are out surveying the track, ready for the second moto of the day. We'll have it after this. Back at Hangtown as we prepare for the second moto, the 250 class here at the opening round of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. See Justin Bogle rolling down there. He grabbed the whole shot of Moto 1. The Geico Honda team has made some real inroads in this sport, signing young riders and bringing them through the pros.
My time with the Geico Honda team has been incredible. Couldn't ask for a better group of guys sticking behind me through the ups and downs, a lot of injuries, things not going my way. But we're coming in this year feeling a lot better. My bike is the best it's ever been. As cliche as that sounds to talk about, oh, I feel awesome, my bike's great. I feel good and my bike is awesome. So however that is, it is what it is, and I'm feeling good.
What's unique about us is that we've got a path, a very tight relationship with American Honda, so a lot of our guys have had success in our lights program and moved on to the 450 program at Honda. So I think that's another nice benefit of what we have to offer.
It's a tough transition, but you have guys like this helping you. The whole Geico Honda team has done a lot to help, and beyond everything, put me on good equipment, surround me with good people. So beyond that, just offering guidance and everything they can do, it's been good, and I definitely wouldn't have wanted to do it without them.
Yeah, having guys on the team like Justin Bogle and having a team manager like Mike Rocco, they've been through the rookie struggles and everything, so they've helped me out a lot.
Oh, it's been awesome. I feel like I'm supplied with the best bike out there, so that helps your confidence. That's what you need out here, and Rock helps us out so much, and just our whole staff. They want what's best for us, so I push just every weekend, and I'm happy to be here and be a part of the team.
And I think it's, as much as we'd like to win everything we enter, the truth of the matter is I think it's good for the sport. It's healthier for the sport to have good balance.
It feels good to be a part of all that success in the 250 class, but like I said, I haven't won that yet. So I'd love to win a national championship, bring that one back for the team, and go from there. I'd like to graduate with honors. So we're working for it.
All right, Bogle certainly showing some speed earlier today. Before we go racing, let's send it to Georgia Lindsay with the GoPro starting gate.
Every track is slightly different, and as you can tell, right here we have some incredibly good dirt, and this is the reason why. You look at these are called rice holes. They're the outside pieces when rice grows that normally you throw away. They're local to West Sacramento, and they're on the track, and basically they hold in the moisture and keep the dirt really, really nice and squidgy and moist, and just how the motocrossers like it. And obviously, right now we do have a drought in California, so the recyclable, it looks after that, and they're pretty good place here at Hangtown for that reason, and the dirt, every rider has said, is absolutely great.
This track has evolved a lot through the years. You'll see here via the Kawasaki track map. Maybe 20 years ago it was known as a real hard pack track, and the rice holes and all the watering has made it very soft. And here's where all that dirt is laid out as Grant takes us for a ride.
Well, sweep through that first turn. Hopefully you get that motorsport.com hole shot over the first jump, going to the lower point of the track. Right here, really rough, but many options. Then you come up and you hit Big Mo. The left-hand hip jump. Then this section, a little tighter than it looks. Right, left, split lanes. This corner, this right-hander, very crucial to get the drive up the hill before you hit the dirt diggers ski jump. Get to the top part of the track right in front of all the fans. Drop back down, hard on the furlong, then hard on the brakes into this turn. This section here, getting really, really choppy. We've seen it collect a few riders going down. It's only going to get worse as the day goes on. Make a left, the other high point of the track. Drop back down, right, left. Then this section here, split as well. You can go triple around the outside or double to the inside, but everyone wants to set up and try and get over the fly racing 150-foot triple step up. Turn left past the TV announcers. Go another nice size jump, long sweep right-hander, and then right here, this is very sharp and very steep. Step up, and then right here, step back down. And then they've changed the section up now. It looks more like a half pipe. We've seen multiple line options. Make a left over the old finish line jump, go past the Fram mechanics area. Hopefully you'll be the first across the checkered flag.
Checking out Adam Cincerillo here. He was your Bud Light fast qualifier. He was fastest in both qualifying sessions earlier this morning and led a bunch of the first moto. And so we'll put the GoPro Hero Cam on him. This is footage from the first moto earlier today to show you what it's like to start in a Lucas Oil Pro Motocross race.
Well, you see the guys getting ready, looking at the ball turn sideways. They pick up the RPM, waiting for that gate to drop. Everyone hoping for the whole shot. Cincerillo gets a great jump. Got guys either side of me. See how tight it is. There's Bogle on the 19, getting the whole shot. Muskin right there. Webb, all the guys cramming in. You'd hear the roost. Just listen to this. Just getting pelted with rocks.
Now, for the second moto, we take a look at the KTM keys to the moto. We've talked about bike setup. You guys have had a first moto. They've had a chance to make adjustments. Hopefully with that comes the second step. Get your rhythm early. If you get a rhythm on this track, we've seen what guys can do. And of course, you don't want to get hurt. Do not end your season before it actually even gets going.
We're ready to go. Moto number 2 here live on NBCSN. Another one of the Honda riders leading them in. So well done. And Matt Bisceglia this time on the number 38. Motorsport.com whole shot for him. Jeremy Martin in second. That's number 1 on the blue bike, trying to take the lead.
Well, great start there for Matt Bisceglia. We just saw him on the Geico Honda. Grab that whole shot, exactly what he wanted.
I think it's Jordan Smith, by the way, a second Geico Honda in third, trying to sandwich Martin right now.
The question is, where is race 1 winner Marvin Musquin? He is not near the front.
Bisceglia trying to hold Martin at bay. Martin a little better liner on the outside. They're going to race up this hill. Martin to the inside. Martin's got the lead.
Yeah, Martin had the inside, got the optimal line, got a great drive around that corner. You see the difference in the 250 four-stroke machines going up that hill. You hit some of those bumps, you don't quite get the drive. Martin went the long way around, got it. Now looking to third, Jesse Nelson from the Troy Lee Designs KTM. Had a pretty good Supercross season, and he said, I expect to do well. Last year I had some decent results, but I was also a little inconsistent.
Lucas Oil, Troy Lee KTM rider, only 14th in Moto number 1. Certainly not what he wanted. So here he is, up to third early in a Moto 2, trying to get a little revenge as he goes after Bisceglia. Then behind him is, again, Smith. And then behind Smith, you've got Alex Martin, Aldridge, Osborne, Cianciarulo's 8th, Musquin 9th. Oh. Anthony Rodriguez 10th.
Little pile up.
Oh, yeah. And we'll check that in a second. Right now we're showing that Bisceglia is doing everything he can to 38, trying to hold on the 28. Nelson just not to be denied. Able to take the measure of him for second. You see Smith and Aldridge not too far back. But who you don't see is Martin, who is already starting to check out. And the way it works in motocross, we're going to combine the results from the first moto earlier today with the results here from the second moto. Jeremy Martin knows if he wins this second moto, he'll have a second and a first. You cannot beat that score. So he's determined up front as you watch Nelson on the 28 in second. And Smith trying to get around his teammate now in a battle for third. Bisceglia and Jordan Smith.
Aldridge crossing the line right behind them in fifth. Alex Martin, older brother to Jeremy, who's out front, is in sixth. Cianciarulo is in seventh. And our race 1 winner, Marvin Musquin, in 8th place. He has got to do some damage here early and try and get around this gaggle of talented riders before he can even get to probably the guy that he'd consider his main rival at the moment, who's leading, Jeremy Martin.
How about Jordan Smith, the rookie, moving on up past Bisceglia into third. So a good ride for him. Very, very fast young rider out of North Carolina. Has a lot of injuries, though, as he's made the transition from amateur to pro. I believe he was scheduled to run some of these races a year ago, but injuries really got in the way. Then he missed the very beginning of what would have been a Supercross debut this year with some injuries. Did get a few Supercross races under his belt later in the year, showing what he has here outdoors. Let's send it down to Georgia, Fran Mechanics area.
Cooper Webb, as you can see, just put into the mechanics area in pain straight away, and he literally fell off and slid off his bike onto the floor. I have no idea yet what just happened. No one seemed to know that he was even coming into the pit, so I guess we'll find out in a minute, and I'll keep you guys updated.
And that's Doc Bodner, the Asterisk Mobile Medic team. They're trying to attend to him. Meanwhile, you also see on the left side of your screen, Smith, who we were just talking about in third, goes down, so he loses a bunch of ground. But what has happened to Webb, who was a very strong third in Moto number 1 and even led it for a while? So Smith has dropped back. Webb is out of what would be really any chance to score points in this one. It's all sorts of shaken up. And taking advantage of it all out front, your defending series champ, Jeremy Martin. We can show you what happened to Webb here, we think. Okay, he was stuck behind a rider that went down. I don't think he got injured from this. Trying to get over the bike. Okay, so that's what puts him way in the back. And Grant, you said it over and over. When you're back there, that's when bad things happen.
Yep, and that's when the panic sets in and you try and make a pass quickly, or you try and force the issue. Don't know exactly what happened to Cooper, what created that injury, but a lot of mayhem in the first lap. And we've always said,
good starts are key because it makes life a lot easier. Look at Jeremy Martin right now. This is a lot easier than eating 17 laps of roost or 16 laps of roost like he did in the first moto, and he is making hay while the sun shines. Look at that, already stretching it out, pulling a little over 2 seconds on Jesse Nelson on that last lap. Nelson, no slouch, definitely picking it up from that first moto, outside of the top 10 where he was there. Now sitting in second place. Still a lot of racing to go, but this does affect things. Cooper Webb probably not going to get points in this moto, and we also did see Jordan Smith crash in that uphill roller section where I said the ruts were getting deep and it was very treacherous.
Aldridge, now he's in third. He gets around Bisceglia. Good run for him. He's a rookie pro as well. Ran a couple races at the end of last year, but this is his first full season. Very solid ride. He's ahead of Bisceglia. And now it's Alex Martin on the Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha. He gets past Bisceglia as well. So Amart on the gas up to fourth. And then you see the green motorcycle. That's Cincerillo. Oh, a little mistake. He and Muscat have been battling through traffic. Muscat almost got the drop on him. Oh, Cincerillo nearly threw it away. Pulls it back in. See Webb there on the right side of your screen. He is still in the pits, still in pain. Muscat tries to get Cincerillo. They almost came together in midair. It's just fun to watch these two battling while they try to race past some other riders. Cincerillo on the outside, trying to get Bisceglia. He got blocked, and that allows Muscat to get past him. Now Muscat's going to try to get Bisceglia, and he does.
That was very smart of Marvin. Watching what the guys in front of him were doing, he had one rider to the outside, one in the middle, and he just went up the inside, and when they took each other's lines away and held each other up just like that, Rodriguez now, he gets in the mix. So not a great couple of laps from Bisceglia. This is not what he was hoping for. Gets a good start, and I think maybe just throwing out of rhythm a little bit, because now Savachi, who had a stellar first moto, he gets around, pushing Bisceglia another spot back.
This is what the 250 class is known for. I know Martin's out front by himself, but this type of action is typical of this class. Cincerillo's number 50, 62 in blue is Rodriguez, Savachi 37 in green. Right behind them, you got Bogle in this fight. Bisceglia is in the middle of it. Just everywhere you look, there's a battle. But Muscat managed to slide past all these guys. And now he's trying to get Alex Martin, who's right up ahead of him. Muscat. We're going to start calling Muscat the crafty Frenchman here, the way he's able to get around all these guys where they were battling.
He's a very intelligent rider as well. Rides a lot with his brain rather than the right hand. Does everything very calculated, very technical.
So Rodriguez in blue trying to hold off Cincerillo. That is a battle for 6th and 7th place. And we're going to show you what happened to Jordan Smith, who was in 3rd. He's at the bottom of your screen here, 126.
Just the front end tucks and blows his hand off. Luckily he gets away with that relatively easy, able to get back up.
We'll show you to you one more time. Smith back up, and in this race he's 19th. Friday morning at 11, the Verizon IndyCar Series is here on NBCSN. Join the party. It's Indy 500 Carb Day, and drivers and crews are going to do battle in the Pit Stop Challenge and get in their last practice before the 99th Indy 500 on Memorial Day weekend. Indy 500 Carb Day, Friday at 11 Eastern on NBCSN. You're getting to see some of the sights around the Hangtown track. The Legends and Heroes display set up with some vintage motorcycles and some vintage motocross stuff. Really cool to see the museum traveling from race to race. This guy's feeling cool right now. Jeremy Martin, 2nd in the first moto earlier today, and a big lead here in moto number 2. But plenty of time left to the countdown clock on the top right of your screen. 18 minutes and 2 laps left. Jesse Nelson, who's a Northern California rider, grew up about 4 hours from Hangtown, but in motocross terms, that makes you practically a hometown boy. So he's run a lot of laps here as a kid growing up and riding very well in 2nd. Lucas Oil, Troy Lee, KTM. And Chris Aldridge, who also raced a lot here as an amateur. Aldridge, one of the nicest guys you'll ever talk to. So I made my way over to speak to him this morning. He's like, he's better than a cup of coffee. Just talk to Aldridge and you'll leave pumped up. And he's like, yeah, I raced some big amateur races here. I did a lot of laps. He said he started racing here in 2001. Here he is 14 years later, finally getting laps down as a pro, and he's in 3rd on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. But look out, Marvin's right there.
Marvin definitely got probably a little more pace. Aldridge does look good. You can tell. Definitely turned some laps. Oh, is that Nelson? I think it's Jesse Nelson. So that Jesse Nelson goes down. Oh, he's got to be gutted about that. So that opens the door now for Aldridge as he puts himself in second. Marvin sits in third. So this track definitely taking down some of our top contenders as the day goes on, getting rougher and rougher. And trust me, TV does not do those ruts justice. When you actually have a real look at them in real life, they're getting deeper, nastier, choppier. And also you got to factor in the shadows. And that's the big thing too. With the shadows, sometimes you don't see the detail inside those ruts. And it can also, upset the suspension or throw your body out of whack if you're not prepared for a bump or a hole or something. And next thing you know, you're grabbing some dirt.
Musquin grabbing a handful of throttle here on the outside as he tries to beat Aldridge to it. Nice job by the 66 to hold him off. Neither rider able to complete that uphill step up, so Aldridge able to hold on to second.
Aldridge must have heard Musquin up the inside, just came across him, gave it a little gas, but look at that.
Wow.
Talked about that half-pipe section, and Marvin made that look actually really easy. No contact, just squared it up, kept a tight line.
Have you seen anyone run the high line on that half pipe until then?
That was a little Jean-Michel Bayle-esque right there. Go up the inside, don't make contact, keep it clean.
JMB was a legendary French rider who won a bunch of titles here in the United States. It seems like a lot of the French riders all take a page out of that playbook, so to speak. They're all very crafty, should I say. They're not known for just hammering through the rough stuff. They will find the smooth line and pass you without having to run into you.
It is funny how you mentioned that, just like
some of them.
Yeah, but even like, you know, if you look at some of the South African riders that had success, like Albertine, Rattray, myself, we were always known as charging, never write them off, big heart. So, you know, just different, I don't know, different continent, different things.
How could different cultures result in the same riding style? It's really strange. Here's your motorsport.com whole shot replay. The Hondas got both. Justin Bogle got one earlier today, and this time it's Matt Bisceglia. Also had his teammate Jordan Smith right behind him. So the Hondas are definitely fast this year. So motorsport.com whole shot accolades going the way of Bisceglia. But Bisceglia had his trouble. He's been shuffled back to 10th. Now we find Alex Martin. There he is in blue. He is in 4th place. Cianciarulo is 5th. Two riders come together. Another crash for Nelson, and he is with Bogle. Wow.
That was...
And Bogle needs help. He's stuck under the motorcycle. I don't know if he's hurt, but that's a 200-plus pound bike. He needs someone to lift it.
Man. And wow. You got to feel for Bogle. Nelson just made a human error right there. That's that same section with the deep rutted rollers. And once he got cross-rutted, Bogle was just at the wrong place, wrong time. And just your heart goes out to Bogle. And Jesse Nelson, his race just seemed to unravel for him.
And we're halfway through this one, 15 minutes to go before the 2-lap board comes out. In 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on your insurance. I hope Bogle's okay here. Let's take you through this, Grant.
Watch Nelson just gets sideways, and look, he tries to move to the left, does Bogle, and man, that was a pretty hard slam because he also came down with, you know, from a higher elevation down on those hard rocks. Watch this again. Bogle just really straight into the ground with that shoulder, and the bike just comes over, twisting his foot. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looks. You see Nelson, he's not sure. He said, I think he said, I'm sorry, and then he was going to go help and figured, I got to get up and get points. So the racer side of him kicked in, but unfortunate for both those guys.
That's like a hockey body check, slam in midair, and then a second slam when Bogle hit the ground. Man. Hope he's going to be all right. So we go back to our leader, Martin, who has checked out 16 seconds lead now over Musquin, who through all this carnage has ended up in the number 2 position. Musquin was certainly on a charge, but he's got a long way to go if he's going to catch this guy. And at the end of the first moto, 35 minutes or so on the track, Martin said, I'm not tired. Give me 5 minutes, I'll go back out there and run moto number 2 right now. Instead, he got an hour break, got even fresher, and he is laying a whooping on the field right now, showing everybody why he has that number 1 plate. So Jeremy Martin on the Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha, looking to do what he did last year, and that's go out on top at Hangtown. A lot of praise heaped on Jeremy Martin, who's leading the way here in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross today. But how about his older brother, Alex? A great story this year. Alex has been a pro for a while. He, like you said, is the older brother of Jeremy. And he's doing something this year that you rarely see. He's kind of a borderline, maybe top 10-ish type guy for majority of his career. And this year, he has really stepped it up. 2 podiums in Supercross, that's top 3. And now running 4th in this opening moto, or opening race of the year. And at the beginning of the year, that's when the riders are all healthy. The field is certainly not thin. And here is Amart putting in a great performance. Now, he has been on the podium a few times here and there throughout his career outdoors, but starting this year off so solid. Great job for Alex on the Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha. Cincerillo is 5th here on the number 50, and he has been in a battle with Anthony Rodriguez, number 62, pretty much this whole race. And they've got company from Osborne, the white bike, 3rd in your picture. That's number 16, Rockstar Husqvarna. Osborne, a tough first moto, barely able to get any points. Finished 20th. That's the last points-paying position. Back with a vengeance here, 7th in Moto 2, trying to get Rodriguez, who's in 6th. Osborne's actually spending some time. He lives now with Eli Tomac out in Colorado. Eli Tomac, who won our first 450 moto earlier today. And the fitness not going to be a problem for Osborne. Let's see if he can get Rodriguez here in the last third of this race.
Well, you have to assume if you're staying and training with Eli Tomac, you're doing everything right. And not to mention, with being at altitude, that really helps. I don't want to get the technical science of it, but training at altitude really helps when you come back to sea level.
And now Rodriguez going back after Cincerillo. Let's send it back to Fran Mechanics area, Georgia, with an update on some of the riders who have had some rough goes of it in these motos.
Yes, that's for sure. And obviously the main one that we're thinking about right now is Cooper Webb. We saw his foot, his left foot. He took his boot off and his entire leg and his foot was, you know, doing that quivering thing where something is not right in there. Hopefully it's a bad sprain, but to me it looked more serious than that. And as he drove off in the Asterix mule in the medical unit, he was punching the side of it and you could see the frustration in his face. And then also just after that, Joey Savages, you can probably see he's gone down in the ranks. He managed to kind of tipple over in a corner, maybe because he's getting tired, I'm not too sure, but he stole the bike and couldn't get that started. And then we just had the number 55 of Kyle Peters in the Crossland Racing team. He just came through the pit because he ran out of gas. So there's been some odd situations recently, and there's been a lot of people that have been just zooming straight through the pit area.
And meanwhile, also zooming through, Anthony Rodriguez and Osborne able to get past Cincerillo, so that pushes him from 5th back to 7th. And we had talked about earlier in the day, Cincerillo so fast in qualifying, Bud Light fast qualifier today, and then led a lot of Moto number 1. But the big question we had, we know he's going to have speed. He's got incredible talent. The bike's good as well. Was he going to be able to have, not since he hadn't raced in a year, was he going to be able to run that pace for 30+2? Do you think that's maybe kicking in a little bit here down the stretch?
Yeah, you can see it. His intensity's just dropped a little bit, but he even said, hey, I've only been riding for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting anything. Like you had mentioned, Jason, he had said, I'd be happy with 8th. And right now, he's going to go 9-7, which probably would give you 8th overall.
Yeah.
We don't have all the math sorted out yet. But look at this battle now. We've got Plessinger, who's trying to hold off Justin Hill, who had a miserable opening moto to the season, basically pulling in the mechanics area with mechanical. He goes to the inside. Rodriguez, can he close the door? Oh, Hill just rails that corner, has a look over. He has got that pass. That was a smooth move there from Justin. Just gets that leg up high, gets the bike over, just grabs a handful and gets that bike set in that rut. Able to make the pass. Made it look pretty easy too. So nice rebound for Justin in Moto 2.
Yeah, and he had a rough go of it in Supercross this year. I talked to him earlier today, and he said, you know what, I probably shouldn't have raced Supercross West, which is what starts earlier. He was injured coming in, thought he would be able to gut it out when the races started, then realized he wasn't ready. But once you commit, you can't switch. So then he had to race a bunch of races less than 100%. Not the Supercross season he expected. So he's looking to this Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship to try to bounce back and get his confidence back. It's one of the real keys to these racers out here. First moto, like you said, some bad luck with the motorcycle. Didn't score any points. He's clawed his way into the top 10 here late in Moto number 2. This is 8th. Ahead of Plessinger is 9th. And then Michele, who had the whole shot earlier, has had a couple of bad laps and a bunch of riders got by him. He is now in 10th on the Geico Honda.
To me, it looked like I think he just, I don't want to say panicked, but just tightened up, you know, the pressure of leading. Because once some of the top guys got around him, which he didn't put up a huge fight with, he just seemed to settle on this pace. 10th place, not too bad, but
Shane McElrath in the Lucas Oil, Troy Lee, KTM. Tough first moto for him, finished out of the points, trying to rebound here. McElrath actually ended up second in the 250 West Supercross rankings. A nice season for him, starting to build a good pro career here. Second full season as a professional for him. This is a guy out of North Carolina who was relatively unknown in the amateur ranks, but Tyler Keefe and everyone over there at the Lucas Oil team saw something in him, and they said, we're going to fly out to California, let you test one of our motorcycles. McElrath said, I've never flown in a plane before in my life.
And he's a great kid.
Yep.
Happy to see him up there.
And here's another young rider. This is RJ Hampshire. This is his first full season as a professional. His whole family, his sister, his dad, his uncles, they all race. And he gets a lot of tutelage from the great Tim Ferry, who was a great rider in his own right as a professional. Also from the Sunshine State. So RJ had some great runs in Supercross, showing some speed here. He is in the 12th place position.
Which also lets you know that he's used to riding in the heat.
Yeah.
If you're from Florida, you know how to deal with the most obnoxious hot weather ever, but it makes it really great for these guys to train in during the week.
Crazy thing about Hampshire, he grew up as a pitcher in baseball. He was a starting pitcher for his high school baseball team, and then switched to motocross. A couple years later, here he is at the top level. Jordan Smith, who was up front early in this one, crashed. Nice little bounce back for him. I mean, that was a hard hit.
Yeah.
And here he is in 13th.
And you can see that right hand guard still bent up. So you know that's in his peripheral vision. Probably throwing him off. Probably gotten used to it now. See it sticking up a little bit after that tumble. So also too, that means if he gets hit with a rock, it's not going to protect the knuckles like it would have earlier. Sometimes these guys will wear thin gloves to help avoid arm pump and not have all the protectiveness on it, and they'll wear hand guards. Looking back,
Mitch Oldenburg just got picked up by the Lucas Oil Troy Lee KTM team. Darren Durham is out injured. So Oldenburg, who was riding for the Motorsport Arma Yamaha team for our buddy Jimmy Albertson, has picked up Durham's ride now, at least for the first half of the year. They could maybe keep him on depending on if Durham comes back, depending on what Oldenburg's results are. Oldenburg is 14th. And Luke Rensland, another one of the rookies on the Cycle Trader Rock River team. He's from New Jersey. That's 15th place. And behind him is Savachi, who we heard that Georgia mentioned. He was up front earlier, had a crash. He has clawed his way back a few extra positions now. He's in 16th. Jackson Richardson, Jesse Nelson, who's gotten back up from a crash, is 18th. Zach Bell and Dakota Alex rounding out your top 20 at Hangtown. And all the way up front, Jeremy Martin. Making this year look a lot like last year. The only difference now, the number one is on his bike. Got to celebrate hold the number one play to the podium last year, but you don't actually get to race with it till the next year begins. Otherwise, everything's exactly the same. He's out front and just getting faster by the lap. Well, it never ceases to amaze how quickly fortunes can change in racing. Yamaha's 250F program was much maligned for years. They had gone 10 years without winning a race, 2004 through 2014. And this Star Racing Yamaha team had all sorts of trouble. They were trying to bring up young riders that constantly seemed to couldn't quite get over the hump. And then last year, all of a sudden, they went to another level. Jeremy Martin and Cooper Webb combined to win about half the races last year. Martin running the number one plate because he won the championship. Webb finished third. Then Webb won a Supercross title for them this year. And as we start 2015, right back where they left off in Motocross, Martin out front again. So Yamaha and the entire Yamalu Star Racing team, just incredible how they have basically done a 180 from where they were, say, 2 years ago to now. I think you can say, at least in motocross, they might be the dominant force out here. Now Webb with a tough moto, he's out, hurt, but he was strong in the first moto, and certainly Martin is strong today. A little bad news, though, for Adam Cincerillo fans. He was 7th, and then watch what happens here.
Yeah, at the top of the screen, coming in, those braking bumps getting bigger, suspension was upset. And these are the things that happen when a rider gets a little tired. And it's no disrespect to him or his trainer or anyone. He didn't come in 100%. And when you get later in the race, when you get a little bit tired, your reaction's not quite as good. Your rhythm kind of backs off a little bit. There's a couple of little things. So to see Cincerella have a couple mistakes in both motos doesn't surprise me, but I still think he can hold his head up high. He's shown us why he had so much hype coming into the series. Like, even by his own admission, he was hoping everyone forgot about him because he wanted to come in here and just get a solid result. He may have just thrown away his predicted 8th overall by that little tip over. But either way, he's going to go home and look at the positive and go, you know what? There's 22 motos coming up this summer. I've got plenty of time to get this figured out and make a run for that title later this season.
Well, I've heard Mitch Payton, who operates this Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team before. He says, we can work with speed. You got speed. That's the hardest part to get. Cianciarulo's speed was on point today. You have to figure as he gets more training and riding under his belt, he's going to be good all the way to the end of these things. And speaking of, Cianciarulo's teammate, Chris Aldridge, looking to put it on the podium. This will be the first moto podium of his career. He's only raced, I think, 2 nationals before this at the very end of last year, although he has a little company down the stretch. Alex Martin.
I was going to say, don't take a look over your shoulder, bud, because here comes a pretty seasoned veteran in this class of Alex Martin, and he's in striking distance. I know we've got about a lap and a half to go, but he's close enough. Any little mistake from Aldridge, or if he starts fading, Martin's changing that section up a little bit. Still trying to triple here late in the race. But he's right there. One little mistake from Aldridge, let off on the last lap or so, and he could lose that. But he knows in the back of his mind, he's in 3rd place. There's a guy right behind him, and he doesn't want to lose it. For a kid like Aldridge right now, this podium is basically like a win for anyone. You've got to crawl before you can walk.
Well, look at the event points at the top of your screen. That's when we combine the scores from both motos. Right now, in the moto, Aldridge is just ahead of Alex Martin, and in the combined points they are. I believe if Martin can make this pass, he'll not only get 3rd for the moto, but also steal 3rd overall. And that's what the sponsors are looking for. Going up, being top 3 for the day to stand on the stage and thank the sponsors. So there's a lot of motivation for both these guys. And on the outside looking in is Osborne. He's not too far back. You see him on the white bike. All 3 of them are going to duke it out here in the last lap of Hangtown.
White flag is out. That means last lap. Aldridge got a slight gap. This guy, on the other hand, has a slightly bigger gap. Jeremy Martin has just come out the 2nd moto, got the start that he would have hoped for, got to the lead quickly, and he has never looked back. We haven't even seen him make a mistake, and he has also put a sizable gap between himself and race 1 winner Marvin Muscan. And maybe Marvin, he did mention that he made some changes on the bike, and maybe that hurt him for the 2nd moto. Sometimes you've got to preempt what the track might be like. Sometimes guys hit it, between the rider and the team, and sometimes, unfortunately, you don't. You just make a bad call. Track changes a little too much in one direction, and Jeremy Martin taking off where he left off last season. Won the championship in convincing style. Came out first moto. We started wondering, hey, this doesn't quite look like, say, J-Mart as last year.
Yeah, he was stuck at about 6th place and not really moving forward.
And then give him some clear track. He did damage control, got a solid 2nd, which we said is as good as a win as far as the overall is concerned. All you got to do, it's really easy. All you got to do is come out, get a great start, don't make mistakes, don't crash, and go win the 2nd moto.
Beat the best riders in the world. That's all you got to do.
But he's the kind of kid that can do it. He's done it before, many a time, and it looks like he's going to do it again today.
This guy spends a lot of time riding and training at Ricky Carmichael's place down in Florida, and this is a Carmichael-esque performance, dominating here in the small bike class. Jeremy Martin wins the moto and the overall at Hangtown. And we go back to this battle for the podium. Muscan's going to get 2nd. Who will get 3rd? Will it be Aldridge on the 66th or Martin on the 31? Yes, that's Jeremy Martin's brother. Could we have 2 brothers on the podium? I think Aldridge is going to try to stop that.
Yeah, he's got just enough, couple bike lengths. Will take for something catastrophic to lose that podium spot. He's got it. Great job, youngster. Good for you.
He needed this. A rough year in Supercross. A great start to Motocross for Chris Aldridge. And like I said earlier, he's one of the nicest guys you'll talk to at the races. Good to see him put the Kawasaki in the podium. Meanwhile, Jeremy Martin already celebrating with the Yamaluke Star Racing team. And we'll talk to him when we return. Back here at Hangtown, huge crowd on hand in Northern California, just outside of Sacramento. Been racing here since 1968. They had the old Plymouth track. They moved it over here to the Prairie City Off-Highway Vehicle Park. And your winner in the 250 class is Jeremy Martin. He's made it to the center of this place, which is the podium. Georgia.
Yes, he has that #1 red plate and #1 after leaving Hangtown after those 2 motos. Jeremy, for you, you said the first moto you were feeling pretty good, you're feeling fit, but look at you. You seem good. You seem great. You've got that overall win. You've got the same points now going into the next race as Marvin Musquin.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think we'll probably both be supporting the red number 1 plates or the red plates. So, that's cool. It's going to be a great battle for the fans. Marvin's he's an awesome competitor. He pushes me, and and hopefully I do the same in return. So it was a good race here. I just can't thank the man up above, the whole team, the Star Racing team. But most of all, I'd really like to thank Johnny O'Mara for putting his head down and help me suffer and get better. I'm practice flight mechanic Chad. I know he's back home in Tallahassee. Ricky Carmichael, my brother, he's an awesome training partner. I couldn't ask for anyone better. And Yamaha, Dunlop, Rockstar, Answer Bell helmets, 100%, FMF, Mickey Thompson tires, Garnet, KYB and Enzo. We made a change for that second motor on the shock. It was so much better. I felt like I was riding on a pillow out there. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Huge congratulations to Jeremy Martin, holding on to that number 1 plate going into the beginning of the season.
That's pretty good there. We'll show you how he won it with the Lucas Oil race recap. Cooper Webb. Now, see, he's on the 17, the blue bike. He gets stuck behind a downed rider here, and then apparently would injure himself trying to come back through traffic. Here he is in the mechanics area hurting, holding the ankle and leg. And he did have an ankle injury late in Supercross. I don't know if this is related. He did not get back into the race. He was third in the first moto earlier today. Jordan Smith was running third in the second moto, then a violent crash here. We'll show you another look at it, Grant. This one pretty impressive that he's able to get back up.
Yep, that could have been a lot worse, but right here, Nelson and Bogle that was a violent crash right there.
Yeah.
As Bogle just wrong place, wrong time, gets slammed to the ground. I think Nelson said, sorry, man, you could tell it was unintentional. Bogle getting attention. He is sore.
Man,
hopefully it's okay, but the day belonged to this guy. Defending champion Jeremy Martin came out, like he said, made a suspension change, went in the right direction, and a 2-1 for the overall. That is awesome for the reigning champ.
As I heard Georgia mention on the podium, they pay championship points per moto, so Martin and Musquin had mirror image results. They're tied for the points lead as we head to round number 2. Send it back to Georgia.
Yes, Marvin Musquin, as you said, they got the same amount of points, but race 1 out the way. Race 1 nerves out the way. Going to next weekend in Glen Helen, what's your plan for the week?
Well, first of all, I feel like I'm happy to be on the podium today because I was expecting a lot, but those guys are really fast, so and everybody is prepared, and ready to go. And the first round, everybody's excited. So I kind of surprised myself first moto with winning, and then second moto I didn't get a great start, and then I could see Jeremy leading, and that was like I was like, oh man, that's gonna be tough, but I tried my best, and the best I could do second moto was a second place. So it's a bummer a little bit because it's going to be a great battle with Jeremy. He's really fast, and I feel like we are in a good spot right now with the team, and we're going to keep building. And Glen Helen's going to be fun, and it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to the WP guy, Mark and Jim. They did a great job today, and they do everything they can, to make me happy and then to feel comfortable on the bike. So we are working hard. Everybody's working hard. So we got to do good on the racetrack. And second today is not too bad.
Congratulations, second overall, but still with the same points as Jeremy. Well done, Marvin.
Here are the events that Martin, Musquin, and the others will be battling for. As far as the championship is concerned, we'll go to Southern California, a couple hours south of here in Glen Helen, and then Thunder Valley in Colorado. We'll end up in Indiana for our finale. Let's send it back to Georgia.
Wow, I have not seen a smile this big in a while. I'm so pumped for you, Chris. Congratulations. Third overall today on the podium at Hangtown. You must be pleased.
Yeah, I'm more than ecstatic about this. My Monster Energy Pro Circuit, Kawasaki got me off to a great start. Parts Unlimited, Thor, Dunlop, Maxima, all the guys helped me out so much. I couldn't do it without them. This is a team effort for sure, and we'll see how it goes for the rest of the season.
Best of luck, Glen Helen. Well done. Congratulations.
That's a great kid right there. Awesome to see him with a strong podium finish. So that's our 250 class. We're headed toward the 450s, so stay with us.